also.
And we are live on Unfiltered. I am joined by Mr. Mason, and I am joined by a special guest, Mr. Mason's beard. Welcome back, Willie's beard. Looks much better.
I know, thanks, mate.
This weekend has certainly been dominated by Origin, the old State of Origin, which occurred on Sunday night. New South Wales won by about 1 billion points, which was nice to see. Will, what do you reckon? Pretty good.
It was impressive. I'm sort of just mixed in between. Did we play like outstanding, which I think we did, or did Queensland just have a way off night? Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, I know Tom Trebojevic 3 tries. Our forwards really set the platform. You know, I just hope we don't get carried away and think we're just going to come back to Sydney and just wipe them, because I think it's going to be a different mentality.
I think what I have worked out is that Brad Fittler knows more about rugby league than I do.
Mate, because I reckon 2 weeks ago, because if we had a film 2 weeks ago,
I would have bagged it.
I don't think we would have agreed with Freddie, but he comes off, my thoughts were he's either going to look like a genius, like he has now, or, you know, we've lost the series.
Yeah,
and I just think if Freddie can if I can dive into the mentality of a 1-all and a decider, or going into game 2,
Did you play in a decider?
yeah, I think someone said the last decider in Sydney was won in 2004, so it's been 15 years, so that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
but
right.
I was just thinking, like, getting beat only just by 4 points coming into game 2, 7 wholesale changes, like, I know 3 from injury, but like subconsciously you know you're going to go that extra probably 5%, and then knowing that, and Queensland coming into that game thinking, yeah, we probably might get them, but knowing that you've got that one in the bag. It's a different mentality. So when New South Wales went up that extra 10% or 20%, you know, Queensland didn't go with them. Next minute, it's half time and you're down. So it's a real mentality switch. And I know Queensland's going to go back and go, we can't let this slide again, because we've got too many guns. Like Tom Trebojevic, Tedesco, Fergie coming back, like Jack White, and the forwards laid the platform. Saifidi played outstanding.
Didn't he play well for his first game? There was a bit of controversy originally about, but he took the first hit up of the game.
And you could tell, that's Kevin Walter said, look, you could tell by he was pissed off at the kickoff.
Yeah.
And I could understand that, but you can't really blame the kickoff. But in Origin, that kickoff's supposed to be brutal.
Yeah.
Saifidi, his first Origin, he got hands and knees, and that's a win for Saifidi. So straight away, confidence level. Usually if you play against a Queensland side or play against any sort of any team, your head's getting taken off as your first game, or you're getting put on your back.
Yeah.
So mentally, Saifidi won that, and then he made 100 metres, 8 hit-ups. Like he's 15 tackles, 1 line, I think 1 tackle bust. Like he was really effective all over the place. So they just seemed to out-enthuse Queensland, and I wasn't surprised. I knew we weren't far off because we played so shit in the first game. I was just really worried about what Queensland turned up or what New South Wales turned up.
Did they play that shit in the first game? I mean, they went up to Suncorp. They lost. I don't know. Hindsight's it's a beautiful thing.
Defensively.
You look at 18-14 at Suncorp, they weren't even that bad.
Yeah, I know. And I don't think, obviously, Latrell, Cody and J-Moz got dropped. Others are through injury. So they fixed that left edge up.
I feel sorry for Cody Walker, to be honest. I mean, if you look at, we said before, the whole thing with Cody Walker, and then Fittler making jokes about Maloney, and Fittler apologised for that.
Freddie's just a free spirit. He just sort of makes a joke, but doesn't realise everyone's just like, oh my God, everyone's worried about other people's feelings. So Freddie's just trying to make light of everything. But I wouldn't take that with a grain of salt.
But for Cody Walker now, realistically, Wade Graham in that second half, and I'm not bagging Nathan Cleary one iota, because if you play Origin, you're a good footballer, but how much better did they look in the second half?
Honestly. I mean, he can't get a break, Cleary.
No.
Like, he would have played in 2 Origins, hopefully 2 Origin winning series. Last year, everyone sort of give him a pass because he was a young kid.
Yeah.
This year, people were just going, why pick him?
Yeah.
And now we got through that game. He was playing a strong game. 6 weeks, he's going to miss out on the final. So, and he could have proved himself. He's still got a lot of improvement. He's got no doubt he's the future of the 7 jersey in New South Wales. But, shit happens. He got injured. It sucks. But I don't know what to do in the halves now. Everyone's like, pick Pearce. Like, what happens if Clemmer comes back? That's the biggest drama. That's the biggest drama that I've got. If Clemmer comes back, he starts. You put Finucane back to the bench. If you start Wade Graham at 6, then you don't have to make a massive change. You don't have to make a big change because if they're talking about loyalty and trying to stick with a winning team, this is a winning team.
You said to me when we spoke on Sunday night, and you said that Wade Graham played a little bit like a Greg Bird character, like a big. Yeah. He plays mostly back row, but he's capable of playing.
He was a 6. He was a 6 when he came through the
grades.
He
was a 6, wasn't he? Yeah. So you're not. I don't know. Was that a fluke? Like, is Wade Graham going to come out and play that for 80 minutes?
I think he can. In an Origin level, like you have a look at just the old style. Like look at Wally Lewis. The size of Wally Lewis as a 5'8", running 5'8", ball playing, can pass when he wants to. Good kicking game, left foot option on that left side. You can get Maloney, who can just run the whole ship, play both sides of the ruck. Jake Trebojevic playing out the back all the time.
Is he a prop?
Mate, he's got his skill level is off the Richter. He really is. I had 1 year with him in 2015. It's just for such a young kid at 20, the way that he squares up and plays out the back or hits the front guy is better than most forwards. Most of them they don't have the confidence, especially in an Origin level where that speed of line is coming at you quick. So for him to look at that line and to either hit the front guy or hit out the back. He's the only one who has that license you watch because not many other people can do it. Finucane can do it, and maybe Clemmer with his on.
Told you he was an
Origin player. So I just think, I don't know. I'm worried about the mentality of. That's why deciders are deciders actually, because the mentality of both teams, you sort each other out in 1 and 2, and now you're going to get the best in game 3. That's why I can't wait. And
I think one of the biggest questions on Origin 3 is what will the coach whisperer say? I mean, he's done, did not do. He's won from
Kevy's,
2 now.
Kevy's coach
whisperer. Bradley Charles Stubbs. Where's he?
You cannot whistle in whisper into any of the players.
He's
you can just.
It's good, isn't
it? There's 17 players going to take the field.
$5,000 an hour.
Nobody.
I want to get him out. I'll get him in your ear. You might be better at this. Latrell Mitchell. He probably could count himself unlucky. They've given some reasons as to why he was dropped based around effort. And to be honest, you can't fault the effort of the blokes that were there on Sunday night. But the other option, I guess, that people are talking about, and it's all paper talk at this stage, I'm sure Fittler knows exactly what he's doing, is Whiten to 5'8". He's obviously playing 5'8" at Clubland, and then move Latrell Mitchell back in. If that's the case, then Clemmer comes in and you've actually got to drop someone.
Yeah. So that's what sucks. I think they'll stick with Saifidi.
So Mitchell's
Finucane. Well, for this year. I think they've probably told him that as well. I think communication levels would have been top notch this week, saying, look, they're going to go with the winning side. Apart if someone gets injured. And they deserve to go into game 3. They absolutely nailed Queensland.
They did.
So just stick with it. If you've got an opportunity now to stick with this. Stick with it now. Wade Graham could be 5'8" for another 5 years.
I think interestingly as well, like Kalen Ponga is an absolute superstar. He is the future of the game. He is an absolute freak. What James Tedesco did on Sunday night was go.
You see his quote? Who's the best football player? He goes, "I'm the best fullback in the world."
That's right, and he is. 100%
I think you prove it in one performance. As we said during the week, like Ponga was arguably 1 or 2 in the world. He plays in mediocre Origin, and he's the 4th best fullback, like behind Tom Trebojevic.
But yeah,
I think Tedesco, he's gone to another level. He has gone to another level. Apparently, like at the start, when he just got to the Roosters, I think the West Tigers, they just used him for his athletic ability. He could just beat people naturally, all that kind of stuff. He wasn't, the nuances of the game, he wasn't really gelled in, going out the back, passing all that well, counting numbers, defensively, all this kind of stuff that Robbo and Craig Fitzgibbon and Minicello really installed in him. In the last 2 or 3 years, he's gone from he didn't make the World Cup in 2017, to pretty much being top 2 picked in the Australian side now. So credit to him or whatever he's been doing, the homework he's been doing, the video, everything like that. Because Origin is the biggest test, and he is schooling Ponga at the moment.
Yeah,
Ponga played well last year. They come off the bench in the 2 games last year. Now
Ponga's a footballer, Tedesco's a fullback. You can
put
Origin
Ponga you put Ponga in any side, and I think I'd pick Tedesco any day at fullback these days. Ponga, I'd put him on the bench. I'll put him in the top 17.
Yeah.
I'll put him in my top 17, but I'm having Teddy at the back.
Well, they're picking the side on Sunday night. That will be the Origin selection meetings. I'm sure it's already picked, but
You'd hope so.
Queensland. Well, I mean, who cares? Who
What do you,
cares?
what do you, what do you do with Queensland? Honestly,
You've got to pick the same side.
same side.
Who do you bring in?
Well, Glasby should be out, I think.
Well, he's probably injured.
He's injured, but I mean, I think we really dominated that bench. I think Big Joe Offengawa will come back in.
He'll
the side.
come back in. Yeah.
I think they missed that punch off the bench because I think the first game their bench was better than ours.
Yeah.
They really they didn't lose any momentum. They didn't lose anything, and that's the key with the bench. With your bench, come on, don't lose any momentum. Make a difference. And I think our bench outplayed them big time.
Yeah.
I think they'll keep Fafita, Moses Mumbai. You know, like he's not really getting that much game time
10 minutes
where
at the end,
he can be effective.
Why bring him on? Like
He's a safety net.
Yeah.
But like you got to have 17 players ready to go because it's 80 minutes. You've seen that game. It was non-stop. Even when it was wet weather, it was just brutal. And I just think Moses might be either a waste of a bench spot, maybe pick someone else, but I'm not sure who they can pick.
Congratulations to Moses on not dying also. That was a horrific story, but...
I know, he nearly died.
EpiPen, I know. How he played, I don't know. But
like, who do you pick? Do you leave? I think their back line still picks itself. Their front row, back row, like they're still a great side. I think they're just probably I think about 3 players. There'll be about 3 changes. They don't usually make wholesale changes, but I think 3 will go. Wallace might struggle to keep his spot. I think they might look at someone like to replace Moses.
They miss Jai Arrow.
Jai Arrow's plenty of work, mate. He'll be pushing
to get back in.
to get game 3 just like Clem. But I don't think he'll get it. They just need someone else to do that sort of dirty work in the middle.
Titans are that shit, and without Jai Arrow, he injured himself again. The other big game was rep round, obviously, and we'll discuss a few of those games. 2 of them we won't talk about because they were pretty low games. But the Tonga versus New Zealand game. Now, the Tonga versus New Zealand has taken on a real significance over the last couple of years just because of the resurgence of Tonga as an international nation. And I guess their sort of challenging of New Zealand as probably the 2nd or 3rd best side in the world. They really did come out. The New Zealand side came out under Maguire and put a show on.
Bit of payback, you think?
Yeah.
From 2017.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
It was. I don't know. It was up for a Polynesian. You know, my mum's Tongan, big Tongan fan. It's a bit disappointing. You know, I just thought that we had the side. The forward pack, we got even though we had David Fafita, we had like Fanua Blake come in to the starting side, and the young kid from the Roosters come on the bench. Like we had a beast of a side. There was no excuses, but obviously our halves, like we can't.
I feel sorry for Asiata.
I don't think I can't blame Asiata at all.
He made some pretty average.
It is some pretty average
calls.
Some calls in defence, but he needs his middle forwards working so much harder. You cannot get isolated with Sean Johnson on the line like that.
No.
If you're a defensive coach, you would never, ever coach like that. You'd never go up and slide. Pangai Jr. should have been up really flat and should have been crunching Sean Johnson's ribs, but he wasn't getting the support from his middle forwards. So it's if you can break it down all the way and blame everyone probably didn't do their job for most of those tries. But the 2 tries that Johnson scored, game over.
Yeah.
You know, you can't come back, and New Zealand were really up for it. I mean,
they
had a different drive, man.
They did. Like, I mean, I'm a massive sook, and, you know, I love watching.
I just wanted a good game.
The anthems and
emotional.
But watching the Kiwi haka, and it was a different sort of haka. They didn't do the
it was like,
one.
I'm going to kill you haka.
It was so full on.
Benji, when
he was crying.
Man, that means, like, for those young kids, I think some of the young blokes will look, they've seen Benji play in 2008 World Cup. Those guys would have been about, 14, 15, and they get to play with him. You know, like they look at Benji like a god. So to see him that emotional and to see the way he played, even to have him in camp, it would have been a different feeling for those kids because, they love Benji. He's on a massive pedestal in New Zealand rugby.
But Safa Solomona, he's as big as a block of flats, and he's walking it with that. I was like, I'm not playing. I'm walking off at that point.
Bromwich? Jesse Bromwich. He's really, he's always in my top 4 best props in the game. He's probably 1 or 2 now.
It's been quiet for the Storm.
Yeah, well, injuries.
Yeah.
And he's played a hell of a lot of football in the last 10 years, so he hasn't really missed a beat. He's played a lot of Test football. Just their back row, like even the Kenny Bromwich. Bashing blokes. I think it was just disappointing from the Tongans' perspective because we've come so far.
Yeah.
We've come so far and we've regressed.
We now, is it?
It's always we, mate. It's
We.
always we. And the game has regressed a little bit. I just hope it's one of those games where it's like, yeah, all right, we played shit. We don't need to really make that many changes.
No.
We need to find a 5'8".
Yeah.
Even if I'm not sure who played 5'8" in the World Cup.
Also, Lola,
Lola, I mean, I wouldn't fly him from England to come here.
he's enjoyed his
Like
time
Faye
over there.
Inu, put him at 7.
I don't
He's
think
a skillful little player.
he wasn't looking super fit, too he?
Well, Leeds are going that dog shit. We wouldn't be playing on form. So to fly him over, like it's a big ask for him to come over, just spend a week in camp. You can't expect your best football out of a kid like that. And he's not a household name, and he's not a massive performer. Like he's a decent player.
Yeah.
If we have a decent NRL
Why
standard,
the no halves in Tonga?
mate, look at the size of us. Us.
Yes, us again.
Look at the forward pack.
Yeah.
Like they're all built for like running and being a damaging forward. Like the Fusituas, he's 6'4". Imagine him running at you all the time. Hopewadi, I mean, like Conrad Harrell, all these guys, they just love hitting. Contact sport. It's a contact. At 7 and 6, you've got to pass the ball. Like, unless it's a nice offloader out the back, we're good with that. But like, we just want to we want that contact.
Fence.
We want that contact. And until, someone has to sit back, like Asiata has been sitting back for the Cowboys because the young kid's out.
Yeah.
Shout out to the young kid as well. Like, he's got that brain clot. That's terrible. Is it Martin?
Tamari
Is it?
Martin.
Tamari Martin, yeah.
Tamari Armand.
I always mess his name up, but like he's been recovering from a brain clot. So get better, mate. Feel sorry for him. Did you know that?
He's a Kiwi. He's a Kiwi. He can't play for you. Now, the other thing that was on, and my big gin friend, causes quite a bit of a storm on Twitter, quite often actually, but one of the things that caused a bit of a storm on Twitter recently was after the Women's State of Origin, which was won by New South Wales and was a terrific game, you came out in support, mind you, of the women's game, saying that in your opinion, and it's an opinion, that it would have been better for them to have played it as a curtain raiser to the State of Origin, with the theory being it's a bigger ground, that there's more people there, more exposure.
Well, someone hit me with a lot of stats. Said
there was a lot of stats. Well, do you know what? I will hit you with some stats now. So, as a standalone game, it rated more than the Swans on that night. There was 10,000 at North Sydney Oval. People are bagging North Sydney Oval. I love North Sydney Oval. I think it's great. But would they get 25,000 at Bankwest? Maybe. They might next year if it goes on. I personally think it's good as a standalone.
I think it's great. But
explain to me and the good people of Twitter why you said what you said.
Because I look at growing the women's game, and I understand everyone on Twitter, they just take shit the wrong way. It's just like, I don't know. I don't sit there and just think about everything. I just think in my opinion, I think it should be played before the big game.
Yeah.
More eyeballs, everything like that. Play it right before and televise it as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we don't do. Fox Sports will televise it, but Channel 9 won't. But obviously they got Channel 9 this time. So everyone threw out all these stats, but that wasn't my opinion. I was just like, I think it should play before State of Origin. State of Origin is our number one game in the league.
Number one ranked.
It's the number one ranked sport in Australia. TV, whatever all these fucking stats are. And I'm just like, okay, we'll play before the big boys. You deserve that. It's like it's a compliment. It's not bagging the game, saying it's not good enough or anything like that. Obviously, the numbers say, I don't fucking know the numbers. I don't fact check anything. I just say, I just think that it would be better on Channel 9 if we televised it and showed everybody how good our women play. Because they rip in, and I just think they deserve to be on the bigger platform, which I think, in my opinion, not everybody else's, that it belongs before the biggest game in Australia. And I think that's it, full stop.
What people need to realise is that you do a lot of work with women athletes and you do a lot of stuff with Roger Fabry and training, and it was never intended as a slight on the women's game.
I just sit there and I tweet something. Everyone just needs to just pump their little brakes, and it's not a personal thing. I just think I'm trying to compliment the game, saying, look, this is such a great game. It's packed out there. I mean,
what can we do to make it bigger?
Yeah. Obviously, they think, eyeballs are always on our game. We rate higher than everyone, but it's, turning up to the game. If they play that at Bank West next year, there's 38,000 that fits into that stadium.
Yeah.
10,000 is going to look shit house.
And hopefully they can get to a point where it grows. And I think To everyone who played, all the women that played in that game,
Women ripped in. It was a great game.
That was magnificent.
It was. That was my opinion. I just think it is strong enough. I'm not sure to stand alone, but obviously it just needs a bigger platform. And I just think they should play before the men's, and it should be televised on Channel 9, free to air, like they did.
Good, thank you.
That's it.
We've got some questions.
I'm not going to sit here and argue the whole fucking night. I could have sat there. It was just that negative. I was like, I'm not bagging the women's game. I'm all for it.
Twitter, it's good. It's definitely not a cesspit of humanity. We've got questions coming through. Joel, Maurizio, we'll get to you in a second. What we are going to do now is we are going to move on to a preview of round 15, which is what we're up to now, and I know that because I have it written here. The first game of the round is the Wayne Bennetts up against the Tigers. The Wayne Bennetts are playing away from home. The Tigers have got virtually no representative footballers other than international representative footballers.
Masters, Benji.
Which is probably more than what the Rabbits have got.
With all the Burgess boys still out?
Yep, all 16
Gagai's backing up. Cody Walker will be filthy. I think Cody Walker will be trying to make an impression and say, look, I'm back. Tigers have always had South's measure in the last couple of years. But I'm still going for South. I just think,
Would you like to tell me why?
They just got that winning formula. I know they got beat by Penrith. I know they got beat by Penrith. Penrith's won 4 in a row, but I mean, like, they had that game in the bag.
Penrith stinks still.
Yeah, and Penrith still suck. I mean, what about losing Wanga Blake? He signed with the Eels. Why would you get rid of him? He's talent-wise, he's 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
You got to nurture him and just get him through. Like, I bet he goes to Parramatta and just kills it. Like, why'd you let him go? It's like, fuck, just manage him properly.
Because Penrith stink.
Who do you reckon?
I am going also with Souths.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
I think that Souths have been on a bit of a slide. I think...
what is it, 3 in a row now?
Yep, and they've had a week off, and I think they've got a bye next week, and I think what they will do is they will rip in and have a week off.
See, Wayne's good with the buys. He gives you the whole week off instead of like, oh, you have to train till Thursday, and get Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. He just goes, go away, get away from football, go hang with your family, friends, get the hell out of Australia if you can. Not Bali or anything like that, just off the coast.
Was that everyone, or was that just you he told to get away?
Just go anywhere. I went to Vegas twice.
Of course you
I didn't.
Now, the next game is St George Illawarra playing against the Cowboys. St George will have a few players backing up. The Cowboys...
Tarek Vaughan.
Cowboys will be without Maguire, who once again has proved himself to be an interesting character on the field. Doesn't need that,
what do you think? I think in this day and age, like, I mean, with Paul Gallen's coming out and just saying, hey, he's up. Because Gal had that same... mentality. He was just a little grub, but like Gal can actually fight, and you could prove yourself then as well. Like
you could throw him.
Yeah, you could actually get up. If someone stands on your hand, so like, you're going to get punched in the head.
Yeah,
you know that now. Especially just these little things like the eye gouging, and he's a better person than that. I know him as a bloke.
And he's
a good bloke, and there's no doubt that he's
one
of the. He's a tough bloke. Yeah. He's one of those guys you want to play with. He's just a prick to play against. But I mean, like, that's frustration, man. That's Origin when you're getting beat by 30 and Maloney's probably lipping off his whole fucking game, and then bang, cop that. That's just that. I can just look at that. I just think he just needs to cut that out of his game because, and I think the judiciary needs to be a little bit more proactive than reactive. What happens if he breaks his jaw?
Yeah.
Do you know, like little things like that? You know, that just don't touch a defenseless player. People that are hitting these, you know, like when halfbacks are passing the ball and they're getting jammed in the ribs. 2 weeks is not enough.
Yeah.
After an Origin period, if I was a key player and I had 2 weeks off just from hitting a halfback and breaking his ribs or something like that, they need to throw the book at some of these guys. And you know what? 6 weeks hurts the club.
Yeah.
The coach starts looking at you sideways. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? You might get back in the side.
The thing as well with Maguire, like if you look at some of the blokes that have set up tents in the judiciary over the years, like Morley and Burgess and that, most of the suspensions that they've copped is from them running in and mistiming a tackle or going high. Maguire, it's always first. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I mean, I just think the judiciary, back to them, they just need to be a little bit more proactive and say, look, if you hit a defensive when they're kicking or when they pass the ball, most of the halves, if you hit them defenseless, whatever. 6 weeks. Don't give them 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a holiday. you're not going to care. Like if you're in the semi-finals and you hit some halfback, crack his ribs, you get 2 weeks, you'll be back for the grand final if you're a key player. He's out.
Back end of your career, you were trying to injure blokes just so you could have a couple of weeks off.
That's what I mean. If you've got that in the bag going, shit, I've played 20 games straight, I wouldn't mind a couple of weeks off. Bang, hit a bloke, have 2 weeks off. You know that you're in the top 8. You know you're going to play like in the semi-finals, so you don't think, hey, players aren't all stupid.
Yeah. Not
calculated. When you get a bit older, you get a little bit calculated. So.
You didn't play in too many semis in the last bit of your career, William. The Roosters are playing against Melbourne. They play that game, I think, in South Australia.
Oh, wow.
Because I saw, it's quite good down there.
It's a great stadium.
It is.
If
From what I've heard,
if you're the Crows,
they're too much. They're charging like $50 a ticket or something.
That's bullshit. See, they need to be. You need to be smart. The NRL need to be smart. You're going to take to Adelaide. No one gives a shit about rugby league. $10 a ticket. If you're under 15 for free, it's all about the optics. Just get them in there, and just make it look like there's a heap of people there.
Hang on. We've got off topic there. Who wins out of St George and the Cowboys?
St George.
St George.
Yeah.
I'm going Cowboys.
It's at Cogra.
Somewhere. They've got 15 grounds.
Yeah. Jubilee.
Roosters versus Melbourne. We've just been through that. Who wins that?
Oh, God. I think Latrell Mitchell will be pissed off. Hopefully he has one of those games where he just comes out and just blitzes everyone. Kiri's back. Have we forgotten about Kiri in the Origin?
No,
because
I don't think he's playing this
Did we solve the Origin 7? We think Wade Graham's just going to stay there?
Well, interestingly...
Because Pearce comes...
We did get a message from Maurizio. Hello, mate. He wants to know why they don't pick Chad Townsend. Has played with Maloney at the Sharks.
Because he's not good enough, and there's other players that are better than him.
There you
go.
Simple
Chad Townsend's a good club player, better than average, but
there's blokes
better than him at the moment.
Yeah. I'm going to tip the Roosters there because Melbourne... I don't know why I'm going to tip them.
I'm going to tip Melbourne. They're on a roll. I think they've won 6 in a row. They've beaten the shit out of sides.
Yeah,
they just look like Munster's going to be... A lot of these guys are going to come back from Origin, pissed off, wanting to come back and get back in that winning circle. You hear, Munster saying that's the worst game he's ever been involved in.
Yeah.
That's coming from a winner. He's in a winning culture all the time. So he's going to come back. He'll probably be the best player on the field.
I actually hope Angus Crichton has a good game because I like everything about Angus Crichton, and he's been copping a fair bit. He's lost his Origin spot.
He's done his job. He just hasn't been like...
They don't go to the right side. They go to the left side. So he's standing anyway. He does his job, Angus. I hope you have a good game, mate. I think you're a legend. The Titans versus Manly. Manly win that by 4 million.
What is that? C-Bus?
C-Bus.
Titans, they're going awful. How's our little man going at the 7?
I heard...
Is he back in the side?
They reckon this week.
Hopefully he comes back, plays some good football.
But I reckon he's gone.
I
reckon he's gone up there.
Yeah, I think he's lost the playing group about a year ago.
Yeah.
So I think, Titans, they're a breeding ground for football up there. They get a lot of players. They can attract a lot of players. I mean, they just need the right coach. They've got Mal Meninga in that group. So, yeah, they need to find the right coach. There's a lot of good coaches out there.
They're not a bad side either on paper.
Side.
They won't win that, though.
Nah, Manly get them.
Newcastle are playing against the Broncos. We've got a question from Joel Southgate.
Jolie.
Good to see you, mate. Does Willie see the Knights bouncing back this weekend at home against the Broncos? And if so, what do you think the score will be?
The score, I think the Knights will get this game. I think they've got 3 home games in a row. Just that defeat, that Melbourne, give it to them. They'll be filthy at that. Everyone was backing them, they're 6 in a row. Are they real, contenders for the premiership? I think Melbourne, they've got a good way to humble you.
Ponga's got a cork on the knee, he'll play.
Ponga needs to play. I think he'll be disappointed from his Origin effort as well, and he'll want to get back and play for Newcastle. It's in Newcastle, so I think they'll get a bit like 22-6.
22-6. There we go. I think, isn't it funny too, watching the Broncos, as if this Broncos South feud's not enough. They signed James Roberts, then the Broncos signed Reece Kennedy, and now Jaden Sewer's gone back down and signed with South. No. I'll tell you what, who's done better out of that deal again? Your man, Wayne Bennett.
He's not dumb, mate. He's a good player, Jaden.
He's an unreal player.
It's like they're just like on purpose, just playing shit and going, can you get rid of me before June 30? Yeah, see you later.
30, I'm going to see Wayne.
Then they'll come out of the blocks and just kill it at the back end of the year.
Uncle Wayne. The next game is the Up and Down Eels against the English Raiders.
That's probably the match of the round. Oh, where's it at?
Melbourne versus Roosters is clearly the match of the
Yeah,
round.
well, this is the second match of the round.
It's another match.
It's another match. This is going to be a good
This is a
game.
match. It'll be a good
Because I don't
game.
know what Eels are going to turn
Depends
up.
which Eels turn up.
Because, you get that Ferguson that played on Sunday.
Yep.
Like they need that every single week. When he's off, I've never seen a winger hold so much energy in a side. He controls what they do, like even the forwards. So I mean, Fergie's just got to keep it up, and I think they'll get Canberra.
Can he get that nose fixed?
Mate, what's the point? He
It's
gets hit
sideways.
It's awful.
So I don't know how he breathes. I'm tipping the Raiders in that because I think Parramatta...
Is it? Where is it at?
It's
is it
at
Seabus?
It's at 1-300 Smiles.
Bank West. Yeah.
The Warriors playing against the Panthers. Panthers are
Warriors.
still...
The
the Warriors on the back of their country winning.
Yeah, but how many people were in that test?
Not many.
Not that many. I think probably about 2 or 3. They were probably about maybe 5 or 6 that were in like all the tests. But
Yeah.
I don't think they'll. Panthers probably on a bit of a roll.
But just pride. On a
No,
roll.
they've won 4 in a row.
Yeah, but there's...
Cleary not there. Maloney, they'll probably run off. Maloney's great at just running the whole team by himself.
What about him
I'm going to
at
sit there.
halftime?
And he's,
When he was saying, I love that.
Freddie just goes, just let him
Just let him talk. And he did. He went out there and did what he said he was
Yeah.
going to do. But no, I like that New Zealand side. I think
Panthers. Yeah.
Panthers.
Just because of Maloney, he's playing some good football.
Not a one-man side.
And pretty much when he's on fire.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
He won New South Wales. He got home there and he's back. And the last game is the Dogs versus the Sharks. And we have a question. Any truth that Dean Pay is running out of time at the Doggies and might be fired soon?
I heard little whispers coming out of there. Yeah, they reckon he's lost the playing group, but they're all the things to sort of justify why they will get rid of him. At the end, a couple of things. He's lost. Yeah, obviously, if you lose the playing group, you're done. So that's probably the number one thing. Other than that, it's just performance-based. It's all performance-based. They're going shit, and the roster's awful.
You played, obviously. You've played. Well done. Scoop.
Thank you.
How do you lose it? Like, you lose a playing group. Can you go out and take them all out for pizza and go, right, let's
It's
have a...
communication, and I hear like he's chopping and changing, or a lot of players coming in and out, not really telling them what to work on. Like I think that things like that really piss you off as a player. If you don't really get like, oh, can you go back and just work on your defence or this and that and this and that. Same players will be back in the side, and then they go back to reserve grade. Like Fatala Marino, I think apparently he knocked back a St George deal for the last year and a half of his contract, pretty much saying that he's going to be playing first grade, and he finds himself after the test being back in Reggie. So shit like that pisses you off as a player. So I can see how he could lose the playing group. When you're losing, it just sucks.
Yeah.
If they were winning, I've seen some coaches, the players carry the whole club. The coach could be the worst coach in the world, but you win.
Yeah.
So you can't lose the playing group because you're winning. So, it sucks being a coach, and the roster that he's been given, the salary cap that he's been given, it's hard to work with, and I feel sorry for him. It's a strong club. They're going to be, searching to be good in 2020, 21. It's not a club that rebuilds, but they have to sort of bite the bullet, suck that salary cap up.
They'd want to rebuild because
They've got to rebuild.
toilet at the moment. So the Sharks have got a lot of players coming back. Graham's back. Johnson's back.
Sharks will get them. They're tough. They'll grind it out.
Sharks are a smoky, I reckon, this year.
Well, they're
Aaron
always
Woods
in
is back.
They're always in the game. Like they rarely get flogged. They always just toil their way, gritty, sort of grimy little side. They're annoying to play against. It's always been tough. And I think they'll get the Dogs.
They will get the Dogs. That concludes Unfiltered for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your questions. If you want to find us, we are obviously live on Facebook, and we are streaming straight onto YouTube as well because we are very technologically advanced. If you've got any questions after the show, we always look at them, so send them in as well and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We will see you next week.